Hello, everyone. Good day. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, getting your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. Thousands of people are gathered at the U.S.-Mexico border waiting to get into the U.S. as the pandemic-era immigration restriction known as Title 42 expires tonight. It allowed authorities to quickly turn away migrants trying to enter the U.S. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar, who represents part of the southern border, says communities like his are already overwhelmed, and he says he's not pleased with the administration's response.
To Washington State, Oregon, somewhere, the sanctuary
so
state.
They're not going through
Washington.
the CBP app or the ports of entry. So that means that they're supposed to get a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge. That is going to be years from now. So the question is, are they going to be able to track these people? And I can tell you right now, no, they're not.
Speaking there to NPR's Morning Edition. The FDIC has unveiled a plan to recover the cost of backstopping uninsured deposits at two failed banks. NPR's Scott Horsley reports most of the cost would be paid by the nation's biggest banks.
Ordinarily, the FDIC only guarantees deposits up to $250,000 per account. But when Silicon Valley and Signature banks collapsed in March, the government decided to cover all of their deposits, most of which were uninsured, in order to discourage a more widespread run on other banks. That decision cost the government's deposit insurance fund an estimated $15.8 billion. The FDIC wants to recover that money with a special assessment on uninsured deposits at other big banks. The lion's share of the bill would be paid by the nation's largest banks, while banks with under $5 billion in assets would be exempt. If approved, the bank payments would be spread over 2 years, beginning in early 2024. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
Fox News is facing another defamation lawsuit from an expert who led the Department of Homeland Security's efforts to counter disinformation. NPR's Shannon Bondra reports Nina Jankowicz accuses Fox of conducting a, quote, malicious campaign of destruction against her.
Soon after DHS's Disinformation Governance Board launched in 2022, Director Nina Jankowicz became the target of right-wing attacks, accusing her and the board of trying to censor American speech. 3 weeks later, Jankowicz resigned, and DHS scrapped the board. Her lawsuit accuses Fox News of lying about her and denigrating her, claiming the cable network mentioned her more than 300 times in 8 months. Jankowicz also claims Fox's coverage led to violent threats. The lawsuit comes almost a month after Fox agreed to pay nearly $790 million to settle another defamation suit brought by election tech company Dominion Voting Systems. Fox News and its parent company declined to comment on Jankowicz's suit. Shannon Bond, NPR News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 266 points. The Nasdaq is down 3. This is NPR. A well-known blogger who shared candidly about her struggles with motherhood and depression has died. NPR's Kristen Wright reports Heather Armstrong was one of the first, quote, mommy bloggers.
Known as Deuce to her fans, Heather Armstrong wrote about being a mother and wife with an openness and candor that gained her a large following, mainly amongst other moms. She rose to mommy blogger fame during the early days of personal blogging. No topics seemed off limits. Forbes named her to its list of the most influential women in media in 2009. Earlier that year, Armstrong published a memoir on her struggles with postpartum depression. Over the years, she openly chronicled her battles with depression and alcoholism and divorce. Armstrong's partner confirmed she died by suicide. She was 47. Kristen Wright, NPR News.
Another sign inflation
Well, that
pressures are
sucks.
easing. The Labor Department says producer prices were up slightly last month, leading to the smallest annual increase in producer inflation in more than 2 years. The producer price index rose 0.2% and 2.3% year over year. This as gas prices surged 8.4%, but food prices fell 0.5%. The number of people filing for first-time unemployment claims rose to the highest level since 2021. The Labor Department says first-time jobless claims rose 22,000 last week to a seasonally adjusted 264,000. Again, on Wall Street, the Dow is down 252. The Nasdaq is down 1. I'm Janine Herbst, NPR News in Washington.
You are the public in public media. Your support, whether you donate to your local station or sign up for a
Skip.
In NASA news, James L. Reuter, Associate Administrator for NASA's Space Technology Mission Directorate, STMD, announced Tuesday he will retire from NASA after 40 years of service. Reuter's retirement will be effective Friday, June 30th. 2 NASA CubeSats designed to study tropical cyclones, including hurricanes and typhoons, successfully launched at 1 p.m. Monday NZST, 9 p.m. EDT Sunday. After the previous launch target date changed due to weather conditions in New Zealand, NASA and Rocket Lab are now targeting 9 p.m. EDT Sunday, May 7th, 1 p.m. Monday, May 8th, New Zealand Standard Time, to launch 2 storm tracking CubeSats into orbit. Media accreditation is open for SpaceX's 28th commercial resupply mission for NASA to the International Space Station. Liftoff of the SpaceX Dragon cargo spacecraft on the company's Falcon 9 rocket is targeted no earlier than 12:34 p.m. EDT Saturday, June 3rd, from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. In weather. In Seattle, there's an excessive heat watch in effect Saturday, May 13th, 2 p.m. to Monday, May 15th, 5 p.m. The current weather is 58 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can look for partly sunny weather, with a high of 72 degrees and a low of 51 degrees.
Amazon.
From NASA.
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Where does 007 invest his savings? Bonds. Stocks and bonds.
Well, I don't know. Sounds pretty good. All right, everyone. Enjoy your Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yeah.